So
these movies are insane.
Indeed. So we have
It was
here.
one thing to like spread them out over a year, but to just sit down in an afternoon and fucking barrel through these
I'm
things.
tired. All right, we're almost there. Da-da-da,
Okay, here we go. What's up now?
Round 4, home stretch. The cook, the thief, his wife, her lover versus Baahubali.
Okay. Cook the Thief. We've talked a lot about it. It's fucking insane. Baahubali is a bunch of things, and it sort of shifts from one to the other. Pretty successfully. I think storytelling-wise, you mentioned earlier, there's this long flashback at the end. I think you're right. That's a misstep. It goes on for way too long. But the hero continues to be heroic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? His love interest, they stay true to each other through the whole thing. Like it's really quite delightful. Like that keeps happening. The villain is like irredeemably villainous. Like he's so like, you know, a mustache twisting, oil can Harry.
Yeah,
like,
there are recognizable archetypes, tropes, which is not to take away from its originality and its craziness ultimately, but I see what you're saying. There's a recognizability to it that perhaps the cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover
is missing.
Yeah. It feels like you can't really make sense of why anyone is doing what they're doing.
It feels to me like everyone is in Cook the Thief is there to be a statement, not a character. They're like, there's the guy who quietly reads books, and there's the guy who's a loud asshole in the restaurant. But the guy who quietly reads books is the like really, really nice guy. And then like, I think that Helen Mirren's character, as she goes from one place to the other, she changes quite visibly. But there's nothing about that movie that is recognizable except for maybe the love story of like being in a relationship with someone who's like infinitely negative and it's a bad thing. I can't understand why she would ever have been with that person. Like, I don't get that. But people end up in shitty relationships all the time.
Why do people get in shitty relationships, yeah.
So that's a thing.
It is ultimately a woman, a very abused woman who is taking her life into her own hands, figuratively and literally, because she is found out she's gonna die.
Yeah.
But she's also taking charge of her life because she's miserable and she's making a choice that's strictly for herself. The way she does it is crazy. Yeah. But it just occurred to me, and I'm actually not sure if she's the only one whose clothes and props change from room to room, but it is certainly the most pronounceable example of it in the film. And it feels like, for instance, she's wearing a red dress in the dining room, which is all styled in red. And then she goes into a white bathroom and suddenly her whole styling becomes white. But I think that,
that works really beautifully, I think.
It does, and I think it's because when she's alone, when she's in a different space, when she's doing something just for herself, she looks completely different to herself in the mirror. That's sort of what I made of it. I know it doesn't necessarily follow that logic all the time, because sometimes it's green in the kitchen, and know, I don't even know if this was just something beautiful.
So maybe that's an aspect of her personality that she, in order for her to survive, she has to be different in different places and locations.
Right.
So that's like maybe, and here's the thing, that's a bit heavy-handed and a bit on the nose if that is the interpretation we're supposed to get. Instead, it comes across as like really beautiful, but only because the movie is not set in any recognizable reality.
Yeah.
So of the two, I'm going to say, while, the other Baahubali is a much more, fanciful movie, I think that it is that Cook the Thief is a crazier movie of the two.
Yeah, death by booking.
Yes.
Takes it. I know you've all been asking yourselves, will it happen? Will they reach the Battle of the Holies? Well, question no more, Crazyettes, for we shall deliver episode 29, Holy Motors versus the Holy Mountain.